Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is meeting with leaders in the Middle East as the United States is urging Israel to wind down major combat operations in Gaza and take a more targeted approach in its attacks. Earlier, he delivered remarks in Israel alongside the Israeli defense minister after meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Austin reiterated the United States' support for Israel, denounced Hamas, and emphasized the importance of getting hostages released. He also discussed a plan for a post-Hamas Gaza.
So the United States continues to believe, as we have under administrations of both parties, that it is in the interest of both Israelis and Palestinians to move forward toward two states, living side by side in mutual security.
For more on this, retired U.S. Army Major and military analyst Mike Lyons is joining us now. So in his remarks, we just heard Secretary Austin push for a two-state solution. This is obviously something that the United States has been encouraging for decades now. How has the war increased or decreased those chances?
Well, it's likely decreased it for now. But I was taken by that press conference. It's kind of the first time in the last few weeks that both sides haven't been talking past each other, because I heard Secretary Austin say that there's no timeline for what Israel wants to do. And in the past, you heard Jake Sullivan say that you've got to kind of wrap this up the next couple of months and shift it from high intensity to low intensity. I really thought that from the defense secretary's perspective, he gave a much more support to Israel and for what they're trying to do, and which is keep this war as conventional as possible. Now, again, if you look over the horizon, what the result's going to be, you've got some hardliners within Israel saying no more two-state solution. I think that they're not willing to even discuss any of those potential outcomes until they figure out specifically what's going to happen with the war, and I still believe it's going to be a few more months.
We also heard the secretary discuss the need to protect civilians in Gaza as this war continues. President Biden has described Israel's bombing campaign as indiscriminate. 3 hostages were killed by Israeli forces. From a military perspective, how can or how should Israel shift its tactics to stop killing innocent civilians?
Yeah, I was surprised by the president's comments. I think Israel has been very specific with regard to their air support and air power when it comes to what they're going after. They're telling the civilians on the ground, we're going after these buildings tomorrow. They're giving them a chance to leave, and then whether they leave or not has really been up to them. They're fighting a two-front war. In the north, it's called a clearing operation as they try to go through and take away Hamas's capability for indirect fire into Tel Aviv and places like that. And to kind of clean up. And then in the south, it looks like they're going after leadership. But no question, to your point, they're going to change tactics when it comes to dealing with civilians. They don't want to have the same thing happen. But urban warfare is the most difficult when you're a soldier on the ground, to go from a warfighter to a peacekeeper, to recognize civilians. And this is an enemy that continually hides behind the civilian population. They have their responsibility to protect civilians, and they don't do that as well.
I mean, certainly, I mean, specific, I don't know if that's the term that most people would use to describe how this war has been carried out, with, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, nearly 20,000 people killed, most of them women and children, civilians. So, I mean, I'm wondering, is there a way that they can shift away from that, not just telling people we're going to be here and expecting that without the resources available to so many civilians to move from place A to place B, and then seeing how Israel has been also, bombing places like Khan Yunis, which is where a lot of civilians were. I mean, how do you move people in a way that is, I guess, safe, if you can even say safe at this point, after so many civilians have been killed?
No, difficult. I mean, I won't trust the Gaza Health Ministry for their numbers. Again, this is war, and if you look at history, civilians are part of the casualties and part of the collateral damage, and Israel has got to try to conventionalize this as much as possible, and I understand that. But you don't see Arab nations lining up. As soon as Egypt decides to open up a hole in their border to let humanitarian aid through, they can't close that border up fast enough. So you're not seeing a lot of support within the rest of the world. And so Israel's got to do what it has to do. So they're not going to succumb to this pressure of the propaganda that's coming from that side. And we definitely recognize that there are civilian casualties here. We're not sure what the number is, but there's also Hamas fighters. So you don't trust that
it's been in the thousands of civilian casualties? You think it's propaganda?
There's difference between thousands and 20,000. Yeah, I think that in order for that number to be killed in the short time that this has been going on, you would see significant other indicators of that, and you would see Israel showing that that's just not the case. Now, they're estimating perhaps people are buried in tunnels. There's no telling, and specifically what the time is. But this is two sides, and there's two sides to this story. And like I said, Israel is not going to stop until they get some kind of conventional approach. So what they'll do tactically, they'll decide maybe to bomb less in terms of specific hospitals and that they believe are Hamas headquarters, but they'll likely start going after Hamas leadership in the coming weeks as well. But I don't think their bombing has been discriminate. It's not something. It's all part of their combat with regard to trying to get the Palestinian leadership to stop fighting.
Well, I mean, even in the shootings, they've recently killed some hostages themselves. But Major Mike Lyons, thank you so much for your insights.
Thanks for having me.